Food is basic need for everyone. Some can afford not to buy new clothes or new shoes, but everybody needs food to survive. And so, no matter how small a person's income may be, they always set aside money for food. It is not what you want, but a need. That is what food is. Humans and even animals need food to survive. It is said that an average human would die without food for 10 days. That's to tell you how important food is to humans. While food is a basic necessity, it is now becoming a luxury to Nigerians. The price of food items keeps increasing in Nigeria to many factors. Recently, the price of these basic items now have this price. A bag of beans weighing 50 kg now sells between 30,000 naira to 39,000 naira depending on the markets and location of the markets. A large size yam goes for between 700 to 900 naira, though there are different types of yam. The regular yam goes for between 500 to 800 naira per tuber. Noodles can be considered basic for some persons, particularly those of the female gender, and even children consume noodles as basic food. Due to popular demand and also cost of production, a carton of noodles goes for between 1,900 to 3,200 naira depending on the size. Other items such as gari sells for between 7,500 naira to 10,500 naira depending on the size of the bag. 3 liters of vegetable oil sells for 2,400 naira to 2,600 naira, again depending on the markets. Palm oil, which is mostly used in households, goes for 2,200 naira to 2,500 naira for 5 liters. So what could be the reason for the skyrocketing price of food items in Nigeria? Stay tuned and find out. Okay, so welcome back from the market. Right now you want to know why the price of food items especially keep on skyrocketing in Nigeria's market. As again, sometimes when the inflation report shows there's a slight decline or slight drop in inflation rate in Nigeria. I'm not here to discuss this alone. I have got an economist here in the studio with me, Professor Mercy Ayiwe. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody.
It's been such a long time.
Yeah, it's been.
Okay.
Quite some time. I've been on sabbatical, but I'm back now.
Welcome back from sabbatical.
Thank you.
So let me start by asking, how has Nigeria been treating you since you've been on sabbatical?
Question? Say it again.
How has Nigeria been treating you?
Nigeria?
Yes.
Oh, I have felt that I wished I never came through this country.
Why? It can't be that bad.
That, yes, that I should have come to use another country to come out to live my life.
Why do you feel that way?
Because Nigeria had been turned upside down, if you ask me. I was born around the 50s, and I know how it was in the 60s when we had independence. And I keep starting from 1960 and comparing till now. I think we lived a good life between 1960 to 1980s. But thereafter, everything got scattered. And I don't know who to really blame, but I think we are all responsible, both the leaders as well as the followers. But I can tell you that the leaders, as they say, once the head of the fish is rotten, then expect that all the body should be rotten too. So we have had so much problem with leadership, and I think that is the major problem in this country.
Now let's look at the economic scene. I asked that because I know that you do go to the markets. Now there's hardly any woman who doesn't get to the market for one reason or the other. So in recent times that you've been to the market, what has been the experience? How has it been for you? Were you greeted with surprise like, hey, you know, as regards cost of commodities, or it was just, you know, a usual experience for you, nothing outrageous?
when you get to the market and you had visited the market just a week ago or even a day ago, you will find that prices have risen, you know, without just cause, without any reasonable thing that you can point to say this is the reason why these prices have gone up so much. Take, for instance, the cup of beans. The rubber that we used to buy $6.50 is now selling $1,200. Take some oil, cooking oil, say 4 liters, that we used to buy $2,500, has now gone up to 6,000, 7,000. What is happening? And the point that baffles us is that those who give the statistics normally tell us that the prices are, sometimes they could even say the inflation had dropped. But when you get to the market, you find that it has not dropped, but rather gone up.
So
there are so many reasons.
Okay, let's take it from there. Sometimes, like you just said, when there is a report on the inflation rate in the country, particularly as it concerns food inflation, sometimes the report shows, oh, there's been a drop in the inflation rate, or consumer spending has also increased and all of that. But when you get to the market, as it concerns the inflation rate, when it says it has dropped, it's the direct opposite you find. So what could be some of the reasons why we don't have the reality at the market matching up with the reports we have?
Well, there are so many reasons, like I said, but I wouldn't be the one to accuse the parastatals that are responsible for data in Nigeria. And I can tell you they are not really doing very well. Because if they are doing very well, they should be able to tell us precisely by what percentage inflation had increased or prices had increased. But this is what we see in the markets are opposite, contrary. And sometimes for some of us who have gone close to these parastatals, you will find that no real data is taken. They just patronize the government, and whenever they feel that the government will want to say that inflation or prices had gone down, they will put it that way. If they think what I said is incorrect, then let them prove to us what is correct.
Okay,
so
is it about, sorry to cut in at this point, but is it about the data not being correct totally, or it's about it not being up to date? Because as it is now in Nigeria, you could go to the market like a week ago and you have the price list of certain commodities. That could change in another 2 to 3 days. Whereas we're using the data of maybe 2 weeks ago or even a month ago, it is different as it is now.
However you look at it, what I'm saying is that those people responsible for data should stop patronizing government and tell us the truth. If they tell us the truth, the difference won't be much between 2 weeks. It will not. But the point I have seen, I have interviewed some of them, they don't even stand up from their seats. You take it. They are Nigerians playing Nigerian out. And they don't move from their seats. And they cook up figures. And like I said, they just patronize whoever is there, the power that be. And then they put those figures there. That is by the way. However, the thing is that we, the populace, the masses are feeling the pinch. We are feeling the heat of all these things. And it has come to a point where if it were to be other countries where they are not docile, they will come out on the streets to protest for these increases in prices. Because it has become so much that we can no longer, we can't bear. But Nigerians smile in everything they see. They are always suffering and smiling, like Fela once said. Okay, that is the point.
Addressing the skyrocketing price of commodities at the market now. Now, I know that the exchange rate of the naira to the dollar is quite, the margin is quite wide. But it's not every item that we import
For instance, our local food are usually not imported. A lot of them are homegrown, like gari that is being consumed. Beans some of it may be imported from neighboring African countries, but a lot of food that we eat, yam, these are homegrown food. When you get to the market and you ask the market woman, why is this so expensive? Some of them will tell you, oh, the dollar price, the dollar exchange rate, but they are not imported. So what are some of those factors that contribute to the continuous increase of the price of commodities?
There are so many factors.
Let's look at them.
Even if the exchange rate is going up or going down, there are still so many factors why we have prices going up, prices of food. If you look at the inflation rate today, it is being driven by the inflation rate of food. And one of the reasons, it's very clear. Nigerians are no longer farming like they used to do. And the insecurity in this country are driving almost everybody out of their farms. So how then do you think? Economics is known for supply and demand. And if the supply of yams is not matching up with the demand, what do you think? The prices will go up. Because the demand is always more. What Nigerians know how to do, and I'm so unhappy that I came through this country to live this life in this generation.
I'm not sure that it's a hopeless situation.
Yeah, it is very hopeless. Because the point is that all that Nigerians know how to do now is increase population, not increase products. They are not farming anymore because, one, the insecurity has pushed everybody out of the farms, and we are no longer going to the farms. The core farmers are not doing farming anymore. So how do you think they will get enough food? You take it, you are in Nigeria, you have lived life here for at least 20 years. Before, by May, we are now in May. In May, everyone was eating corn. Is it not so?
Yes.
You go out now and see whether you will have enough corn. Corn is just coming out, and one cup is selling for 100 naira. So how is that? Is that how Nigeria was? What has happened is that the number of products, the crops of corn they are producing is not matching the population that wants to eat it. That's just simple. So you now find that even though we produce these goods, we are not producing enough. And that's why every now and then, Nigeria is importing food. Importing food, even grains. Just ask me why Nigeria should import grains like corn and other things, other grains to this country. And that was what was happening between the nearest borders. You know, rice, maize, everything imported. For what? For what? Even agricultural inputs, grains for agricultural inputs are now imported. And some of our very learned persons are thinking that the hybrid crops or hybrid seeds are better than what we have in the local scenario, which is wrong because we are leading ourselves to termination. Eventually, by the time these new or foreign grains or seeds refuse to produce, that is when there will be famine, complete famine in Africa and in Nigeria. And I fear for that day. I am afraid, and I pray I will not share in that. Because that is the future. If you look at it, what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters, is this: that we should be able to produce what we eat, but we are not doing it. Look at what is happening. Look at the rioting everywhere, killing of this and that and all that kind of thing. Instead of spending our time to produce, all we are doing is increase population. Go to houses and you see number of children not cared for. And as we are having children, we are not even caring for them. And that's why all these people can come out and they can kidnap people and they can riot and nobody talks to them. because we have not given them basic training. Because Africa, we have been said to be very lucky country. I mean, continent. Or Nigeria, a very lucky country, because we have youthful population. But what kind of youthful population do we have? Useless.
No. That you cannot call the population of a country, especially like Nigeria, useless.
Yes.
That the fact that we have some challenges here, I would want you to retract that.
Okay, let me retract that. But the point is that the population we now have, the youthful population, may not give us what we want in future because we are not training them.
Okay, let's pick it up from training. Now, you've raised concerns about our rising population. Now, we already have the population here. We cannot say let's exterminate. So what do we do in training our population right, that they give us the needed results to grow the economy and also to grow the country?
The country is already divided. When I say the youthful population we have are not being trained properly, even the home training is not being given properly to them now, because I have interviewed many youths. Can I say that what is happening in the south is what is happening in the middle belt? Can I say that in Nigeria, what is happening in the south is what is happening in the north? I will say no. These are different things happening. And therefore, we cannot say, since we don't have a firm government that can correct these things the way it should be, we cannot say that what the South may be doing, if they are training their children properly, that the North may be doing that.
Does it rest on
properly.
the government to train children for parents? You mentioned training from the home.
Yeah, policy.
Okay, so does it rest on the government in terms of training them with the required skills, training them with the necessary mindsets to
Yes.
be people who are productive? Does it rest solely on government? From the home front, what is the responsibility of parents in training youths to become productive, to becoming entrepreneurs?
Yes, sometimes there is this saying that once you use one finger to touch oil, is likely going to touch all others. The point is that the government is the pinnacle, is the head. It should give directives, but they are not really giving enough directives. For instance, putting a clause that every child must go to school, and then providing for them, not the food they are giving them now. Because for me, I'm against that school feeding. That is not what we want. What we really want is nurturing them from the beginning, supporting families, not the selective support that we are doing. Those things are just on the surface, and they can never work. And that's why they are not working. I can tell you there are so many policies that Nigeria had imported from other countries and used. The other countries that use it, it worked. But in Nigeria, it will not work because the system is quite different. The people are not able to push these things the way they should. So that everyone, that's why I said earlier that I cannot say who really is the guilty one, that all of us are. Because both the leader and the follower, we are all guilty. So like I said, if someone could pick from what I'm saying, if in your home you've not been training your children properly, then please do that. But I can tell you that if, for instance, in Benin, all our children are well trained, but in Lagos, the children are not trained, Nigeria will still remain what it is. It will not move.
We'll come back to training and know specifically the kind of training that children should begin to have that will help economically. But let's get back to the markets. Now, you've talked about the supply of basic commodities not being enough, be that as it may. There have also been concerns about unionism, unions fixing prices of commodities. Now, in some of the reports that the NBS have churned out, you've also seen that the price of these commodities vary from one region to another, even from state to state. While you may have the price of gas being a bit cheap when compared to that of another state, you also have the price of maybe beans or rice as it sells for maybe 1 bag or kg, being different from what it sells in other states. So what can you say about unionism as it concerns price increase of our commodities in the markets?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's still another question. If you remember in the past, we had in Nigeria a price control agency, but it's no longer there. And since it's no longer there, these unionists have come up to do what they like. And there's nobody is clamping them down. Nobody is asking any question. Nobody is directing them anymore because there is no price control. But that again is the fact that they are Nigerians. And we are all just behaving the way we like, without respect to for the other citizen or the or the government. And so as it continues that way, there's no way there's nothing we can do to control the unionism in these markets. Because I have encountered that. You come to the market, you want to buy plantain. Someone from the farm brings plantain. They stand on the way. Whereas that person, they will buy that bunch of plantain for 300 naira. They are going to sell it, turn around to you and sell it 1,000 or there above. No matter what you struggle, how you struggle, the unionists will never allow you take from the supply from the farm gate. And these are the things we are talking about. But believe you me, the question we should focus on and work on is the productivity of Nigerians. Let us produce. Why should we be importing, for instance, coconut from Ghana? And look at, in short, it pains me. And that's why when I go to the market, I don't buy Ghana coconut. But believe you me, if you buy Ghana coconut, it's sweeter. It has more flesh compared to the Nigerian coconut. Why? Because the Ghana government, that's a question again you asked me, will it be government? The Ghana government specifically established coconut area and made sure they use the hybrid. And now they are importing coconut to us. Even pepper, Ghana pepper, the Nigerian woman prefers the Ghana pepper to the Nigerian pepper. And I say no. When I go to the market, I don't buy it. Why should I buy it? Because we are just dependent. We feel there's nothing we can do. If we like the Ghana coconut, let us get the seed here and grow it. If we like the Ghana pepper, let us bring it. I'm sorry I'm using Ghana. It's not because I hate Ghana. It's just that we have to make these illustrations. Okay. Now, let them bring that Ghana seed here in Nigeria and plant. Are you telling me that the soil in Nigeria cannot produce what Ghana is producing? This is the question. This is a very big question which we have to attend to. And look at it. If you go to the market today now and say, how much is cup of garri? And they say it's 500 naira. And you had bought it 100 naira last week. And you ask why? The market woman now knows the problem in Nigeria. And they will tell you, what is Nigeria producing? Nigeria is not producing anything. Is that not what I'm telling you? What is Nigeria producing? So that is the question. And because of it, we don't sell anything outside. I have gone through from 1960. In 1960, inflation rate was just about 5.4%. And we were saying it was high because what the economists recommend in theory is 4% and below. We were saying it was high. Then from there now, it has risen. And today, it is 16.82, which is almost 17%. But look at it. If you were to talk about closing of border, which one could look at.
I was coming to that because if we're finding a lot of products from neighboring countries in our markets today, and then the government has gone ahead to reopen the borders that were closed 3 years ago, what does that mean for our markets?
Now, if you ask me as an economist, I would have said that will increase the supplies of the goods, and therefore the prices will drop. But is the Nigerian economics, that is the economy, does it really obey the economic laws? I will tell you no. Because of the people that make up Nigeria, it will not work. So you will see that in 2019, when this government, first of all, closed down the borders, were you not finding foreign rice to eat? That's the question. Well, all the things that were foreign were still coming in.
Being smuggled.
Yes, being smuggled in. No matter how you manage Nigerians, they are so smart. So smart in the wrong way. Whereas, assuming we have a good government to channel our energies, and we are smart in the right way, I can tell you that this country will lead the whole world. And that is what the whites are afraid of. That is why every now and then, when you see the policies that are dished out or packaged for us from all these international agencies, it is to draw us back. If Nigerians do not know, they should know that those policies usually have loopholes to draw us back. Look at them. Starting from the importation policy or substitution, import substitution policy from the 80s till now. Like what has happened now, really, my dear, is that even in January here, the inflation had dropped. Inflation had dropped. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It has dropped drastically. And one expected that, okay, it will be that way. So what brought about this increase in April?
Okay, well, the increase in April can be attributed to the fuel scarcity that was experienced from mid-February up till about the sports, cost of transportation and all. Well, let's also look at solving the problem, because it is not pleasant when you go to the markets one day, the price is maybe 5 naira for maybe, let's even say 100 naira for tomatoes that should be enough for you to make a meal. And then you go the next day, it is 200 naira for different reasons. Now, how do we now achieve a regime where there's price sustainability? Even when price has to change, but it's not also frequent.
The point, I have made it already. It is demand and supply. And the issue here is that we should produce more. Stop depending on foreign countries. Stop depending on neighboring countries. And if we do that, we'll find that things will become better. The price will be more stable. And two, the Nigerian government, once upon a time, during Babangida's time, had this population draft policy. But it never saw the day of the light of the day. It's still in the cooler up to today. That policy should be implemented. Our population, which some people are proud and say, because election is coming, they are telling you democracy is a game of numbers, and we have the numbers. And sometimes I feel, what numbers? Quality numbers or not? This is the question so that is one. Two is that since we buy so many things from outside, we should find a way to increase our reserves.
Okay.
Foreign exchange reserves. Because that is from where we take to buy. Okay. To buy things. But let me ask you, why will a Nigerian who is a marketer go to Ghana to buy pepper and bring to Nigeria? Why should we buy coconut and bring to Nigeria? Instead of them to leave this foreign exchange for bigger things, they are using it for things that we can grow here. It It's not right. So that is, we have shortage of the dollar, shortage of the foreign currency, and therefore, and that will depend so much. This is a blessed country. Nigeria is a blessed country, but we have used our hands to turn it to a cursed country.
No, it can't be cursed.
And that is why we must talk. And that is why the government or whoever is there should hear. And that's why the followers should hear.
I understand.
And produce.
I understand that you may be unhappy with a lot of things that is happening in the country, but I would like to remind you that this is a live television, and this is Nigeria.
Sorry about that. I love Nigeria. Yes.
The language.
Yes,
you said we've turned Nigeria to a cursed country. So can you say that right?
No, okay. Now, let it be that Nigeria remains blessed.
Okay.
The way God had blessed this country.
Okay.
And if we do that, then we should do one other thing. If we're able to produce, let us sell outside.
Okay.
Rather than only inside. And that is why we are not having foreign exchange. Foreign reserves.
Okay.
If we are not selling outside, we cannot have the foreign reserves.
Okay.
And sometimes I tell them, globalization is a very good thing. It has opened up all the borders, apart from this issue that our government could close the border here or then. The globalization has thrown open all borders, and we could do whatever we like, wherever we wanted it. But we are dormant here in Nigeria. Why they bring everything for us? In short, we yearn for foreign things. I'm wearing clothes. This cloth, I had to sew it.
Okay.
I don't buy. Why should I buy made in China?
So again, being patriotic is another thing.
Patriotic is another thing.
Okay.
You do your things. Let us do our things. The other day, I was in India, and the cars they are using are the ones prescribed by the government, and they are the ones they are making there. What are we making in Nigeria? The only factory we now have for assembling or producing cars, we are not patronizing them. Why? Because we think that it's Nigeria. Nigeria
and so it may be inferior.
And so it may be inferior.
Okay.
God should continue to bless this country, but those of us who are Nigerians should take up this challenge and be sure that we produce a lot. If we produce everything we eat, like so many other, like India is doing, you go and check up the Indian GDP and see how it is going up, whereas our own is tumbling down. Now, if we produce what we eat and we refuse to eat what other people really produce, we will go somewhere.
Okay.
We will go somewhere. But now, the young ladies are crazy about what comes from abroad. And then the old ones are crazy about what comes from abroad. And then we buy so many cars which we cannot produce one pin out of it. And we call ourselves, I really don't want to use another word. What do we call ourselves?
Okay. Now, this kind of practice where there is preference for things produced outside of Nigeria, do you think that in no distant time it may make the government reconsider its decision to reopen the borders? Because they have been complaining that there are shortage of supply of basic commodities because the borders were closed. And so the government has reopened those closed borders. But if there is continuous preference for commodities produced outside of Nigeria at the expense of the Nigerian economy, do you see that decision be rescinded?
No, not being rescinded. What you should say is, what will be the impact? Will it be positive or will it be negative? And for me, I would say that it will remain negative, because if you look at what has happened since 2009, like I said, within this January of 2020, from 2021, July to now, January 2022, there was the inflation rate was dropping before it now went up this particular period. So if the throwing up of borders will now compound our problems if we continue to import the foreign goods, but it will have helped us if we now learn to export. Because if you look at our balance of trade,
it's always in the deficit.
It's always in the deficit. Let us try to produce what we eat more and then export the excess.
Okay.
And then you will see how things will change for this country. There is something that I cannot place among Nigerians. For instance, take Indomie. When you were showing noodles, when you were showing some graphics from the market, you showed it. When that thing came up in the 90s, early 90s, I refused to eat it because I felt that it was warm. We're not used to it. But today, there is no family that is not consuming that noodles. And ask me whether that noodles is completely produced in Nigeria. Completely. That is everything used in Nigeria, machine from all in Nigeria. The answer is what? No. Now look at, some time ago, someone, is it Mr. Ogbe or Chief Ogbe? He was always on the air saying that the agricultural minister, that now rice is surplus in Nigeria. Now rice is surplus in Nigeria. I see so many tons and the prices of bags of rice will drop. Has it dropped? Now look at what has happened. If you go to where they are producing rice, who is producing rice? Is it Nigerians?
The local made rice.
Is it Nigerians?
How many? A lot of them are produced by Nigerians.
No, let me tell you what is happening.
Okay, what is happening?
The foreigners have taken over that sector. They go organize farmers, they farm for them, and they go mill it. Do you call that they are farming it?
So what should be done to correct that?
That is what we are saying, that the government should know what to do. They should give them terms of operation.
Okay. And
Nigerians should be encouraged, because look at it. You and I, as Nigerians, may not have the capital to start invest. To invest. And I have kept saying this as an economist, that it will be best if government can set up parastatals and hand over to the local business people who can really
make it completely indigenous.
Yes, but they are not doing it. And all the things that government had established and wanted to run, they run it down. Nigerians run it down.
Okay, so proper running of whatever policy, whatever is being put in place to support production of basic commodities that Nigerians consume should be ensured by the government.
Sure.
Okay, I think it's a nice place for us to leave the conversation today, talking about the reality of the Nigerian market. We've seen that a lot of factors impact the skyrocketing price of basic commodities in the market, and Professor Ayiwa has also provided reasons why we do not find a complete correlation between what the reports bring out and what the reality at the market is. Sometimes it's also due to the attitude of Nigerians and short supply of the basic things that we depend on. So therefore production is encouraged. But I do know that as much as a lot of Nigerians want to produce, there are some things that are holding them back. Access to funds is one, and that's where we depend on governments to come in and also ensure security so that the farmers can go to farm and feel safe. Thank you very much, Professor Ayiwa, for being on the show. It's been an exciting one, as always when she's around, always hot, but at the end of the day, it's a nice one. Thank you. I hope to have you soonest.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, that's the show today. My name is Blessing Aichi. Enjoy your weekend.